Sorry, I missed you guys recently. Had my trip to Richmond for NASCAR, which was pretty awesome actually, both culturally and from a sports perspective. Tomorrow evening I will not be live because it would be Yom Kippur. I'll be breaking fast. But I'm not gonna be able to record with Bobby tomorrow. I will get projections up at some point. But yeah. So let's go about getting it done today. I had a terrible beat in the League of Legends slate over the course of 2 days. I got beat on the wire by like 1 point. Got second in the big buy-in over there, which I have to actually check to see if I'm supposed to enter 20 lineups in the lottery over there, and I forgot to do it, and then it shut out. I mean, it closed, so I didn't play that. I have to see how I would have done. I don't think I would have done that well, so that was pretty fortunate. And as it turns out, I'm getting kind of some different exposures. Well, not so much different baseball-wise than I thought. One of the things that changed, of course, was Mike Minor being out for Kansas City. And for those of you that didn't notice, I did put a new projections up there. The other thing, just to give you a heads up, the real big thing, I'm going to let Bobby in here. So before we get into to baseball, Bobby, there's something we have to kind of talk about. Yeah. So for those of you that follow, John Rahm dropped out of the Pro-Am today, citing stomach issues, and he also missed the press conference as well. And it leaves a very, very big decision of what to do. Just a couple of bits. First of all, his tee time is 10:45, which is 45 minutes after the slate locks. The other thing, well, for me, is going to be particularly interesting because as I'm going to be gone all morning, starting like 9:30, 9:45. So I can't wait till the end to make a decision. I'm going to have to make a decision before that. Adam Perry in the Discord was liking it to a weather situation with a pitcher. Kind of, he was saying that maybe people overreact and you get lower ownership as a result. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with this. I mean, you got to obviously just continue to whatever, but remember, man, I mean, it's already a very I don't know. It's already a very tenuous situation. You know, it's a low motivation spot in the first place. Okay, people were shocked he even showed up for this thing at all. And there are variations where he's not playing well, and then all of a sudden the stomach issue comes up as well. You know what I mean? Like that's possible too. Plus a big fat ownership situation. It's a tough call. I honestly don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's a really tough one, and I think that probably, like, if you're playing multiple, try and maybe get a little bit of exposure. But I if it was going to make him unowned, maybe that'd be one thing. I truly think if you're paying attention at that time in the morning, that you probably can figure it out,
right?
At least get a good idea of it. So it's kind of hard to know, and I don't know. It's
in the name of transparency, I'm just going to tell you the exact truth of what I'm doing. So like right now, like all my builds, I literally have 100% of John Rahm, and it's very possible that I have 0. That's just the way it's going to be for me. Again, and I might not know that until 15 minutes before game time. That's just going to be what it is. Which we'll put. The good thing, by the way, and not to get too much into golf, if you don't play Rahm, is then you get to play the stuff that you know, those high 8K, low 9K guys. You know, like you get to play Grillo and Munoz and Zalator. You know what I mean? If you want to play those types of guys, where the ROM builds were forcing you into which is kind of fun. I mean, like forcing you into the multiple 7K guys, which is certainly cool. You know what I mean? Like I could live in that world too, but it's not the end of the world. If you do decide to fade ROM, you're definitely costing yourself some projection risk. You know what I mean? If he does play, but it's not as if you're like dead if you play 0 of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's all I have from that. Baseball wise, for those of you that didn't know, Mike Minor, one of the people we talked about earlier, he's not playing. And is there any weather concerns today? No,
Yeah,
right?
I don't think Atlanta's going to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, I got to look at that.
Looks really bad. And it looks like it's gotten maybe a little bit better now, but I don't know, Roth's calling it closer to 50-50.
Okay.
So it's a big thing. Just going to answer Jimmy's quick question. Hello, Jimmy. He says he's new. Are 5-3 stacks the best on DraftKings? Certainly the most common. I think you want to get 4 or 5 at least. Sometimes I'll do a 4-4 or a 4-2-2. But I do think that most people will tell you that 5-3s are the best way to go, especially for a beginner. I think Sheets would agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was going to play some Manoa, and I am now had to make some pivots where I've gotten very heavy on Manaya. I have gotten way heavier than I wanted to be, still under the field probably on Ranger Suarez. And I have more Cortez with no Mancini in the lineup, just a little bit weaker, a little bit of them. But I'm going to play a Griffin Jacks, Cesar Hernandez lineup. Like, I just think that they're so cheap. It allows you to do different things with your build. You can play everybody. So I'm definitely interested in doing that.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what my build will look like without all this Atlanta stuff. Because I'm going to go 0, in a situation like that.
Yeah, I loved Hilliard. He was my favorite value play, and now I'm just not going to play him.
Yeah. Well, let me just see. So let me just take out all. And I was having a bunch of Inoa, by the way, including he was being my big one also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Yep. So let's get rid of that. Let's see if I was going to get any Atlanta. I was not actually going to get any Atlanta hitting, which is probably going to be a mistake. So I'm glad that this is working out. Hold on. Let me get rid of the Colorados.
All right. So in the meantime, while you're doing that, I'm just going to talk.
Yeah, go for it.
So what I'm doing basically is I'll just go through some ownerships of players to give you an idea of what I'm doing. I have 40% of Pete Alonso. I've got 40% almost of Baez, 30% of Lindor, 20% of Pilar, 35% of Conforto. I do like the Mets a lot today. I think they'll be lower owned than the other stacks that we like. I am, for better or worse, going to have to suffer through the Yankees potentially beating me, and that's just the way that it is. I do have some Yankee stacks, don't get me wrong, but mostly it's going to be 2 and 3 man for me for the Yankees and trying to pick out the home runs against Means, who I still think is a little bit of an underrated pitcher. Not that he's the greatest or anything, that he won't give up a home run or 2, but I am going to try and do something a little bit different and get off of some of that. So
where are you with the Dodgers?
Very high. The Dodgers are the Mets are my highest owned stacks. I don't like that it's supposed to be a little bit cooler tonight in LA, so that kind of bothers me. But I still think it's a good enough. It's worth it's. You have Weaver probably on a very limited pitch count and the worst bullpen in baseball behind him for a team that's not.
Is it Weaver or Kelly?
I'm sorry, Kelly.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me. It was Weaver the other night. Same thing. As long as Dodgers are playing Arizona, they don't have a pitcher that they'll throw out that I won't say the Dodgers are a great stack. But this is an extremely good spot, and I am all over it personally.
I have quite a bit of the Mets as well. And my main pitching combination is Suarez and McGill. That's my on DraftKings.
I like it. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's my main thing. That gets me to gets me some Houstons, um, and I do have some with the field on the Yankees,
Mm-hmm.
like 20%, something like that.
Yeah, we're using Rizzo. Look, it didn't work out perfectly last night, but I'm willing to go back to it. He was still actually had a good game, but he just didn't hit a home run like Voit did. So I do have some Rizzo, and in those stacks, and some Gallo in those stacks. And they're still, again, 3 and 4 man mostly for me, just trying to get off of the chalk. I also think Cleveland is a viable stack, but like I said, I'm going to throw Jackson to a lineup or two, and I'm going to play Cesar Hernandez a little bit. Weirdly, no one's talking about Oakland. I think that they're a good off the board stack that I'm just not getting to. And Cleveland, Cleveland and Philly are the other two teams that you wish you could have more, but you want to condense your ownership and condense into a few teams. And I'm picking the Dodgers, Mets, and I like the White Sox. He puts up ridiculous numbers, like absolutely absurd games. Musgrove can just sort of manage his way through a game and get you 15 fantasy points, enough for the time here. Whereas Minaya is probably looking at like 5 to 10 or maybe 25 to 35, on DraftKings.
That's true.
I also am playing 10% of, actually like a little higher actually, of John Means. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to try and leverage it. And I think he's actually a good enough pitcher. Almost worked through it last time with the Yankees. And then, so I do like a little bit of Means in there, but I don't feel incredibly strong conviction on any of these guys at the price tags they're at. I do like Urias a lot as a safety-ish pitcher, but I think he ends up more in the 20-ish range. So if you want to take shots on other guys, I really don't mind it. I'm just finding myself having no trouble getting him in with the guys I want, especially because I'm playing enough of the Mets. And there are cheap Mets options, from McCann as a catcher to Conforto in the outfield, as well as Pilar in the outfield. And then you've got the expensive bats to go with Alonso, Baez, and Lindor. If I didn't notice that win coming in Chicago at all, I may have been a little bit higher on Abreu. And I loved Abreu. I still do. But it's factoring that he's going to be higher owned. You've got a little bit of wind blowing in from left. It's not going to be it's going to be cooler in Chicago. Everything sort of is leading me to point towards where you got the wind blowing out at 12 miles an hour in New York, and it's 80 degrees with, so I just think that's kind of an interesting, I just like that play a little bit better when you factor in ownership and everything else.
So what I'm going to do for everybody here, I mean, if you guys are interested, so I'm going to build one of my bigger lineups right here on Fanduel, because I don't have enough of the Dodgers, so I'm going to force one in. And just kind of using my sheets, but I'm going to start with Dodgers, and then I'm going to use my sheets to kind of fill it in. So I don't really know exactly what the lineup is going to be, but I think I'm going to start.
It just came out a second ago. I'm
awesome.
Sure. Let me see what's in it. What's doing with that, because I got the update. Here we go. Betts, Muncy, Turner, Seager. Wow. Betts, Muncy, Turner, Seager. Trey Turner, then Seager, Justin Turner 5th, Will Smith 6th, Bellinger 7th, Lux 8th. Basically the exact lineup that they're running out. They're trying to win every game, so they're going to put their best foot forward. That's what's going on.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a 4-man over here, and I'm going to start by putting 5 of them in. And I'm going to have to change it, obviously. It's so funny how these LA guys are like so multi-position eligible.
It's fair because they all play those different positions.
I find it, I find it hard to keep what's his name out of this line. I mean, you got to play Bellinger at 2,400. You know what I mean? I just think you just do.
I'm playing him, but I mean, he has looked like it's long enough where it's past probably a slump. Now, one of these days, I actually have him in one of my big buy-in lineups, so maybe I shouldn't argue off of him, but I don't think that. I don't by any means think that he's the guy that you need to play. But I do think that I like the price, and I will play him at, if Bellinger was 2,400 in any other day, he would be like, I mean, any other time of year, if this was the beginning of the year, he'd be like 60% owned on this slate.
So I have just very watch. So if you guys, if if you're premium subscribers, you get access to the sheets or whatever it is. And I actually have myself, I think this is just going to be completely based off this. We're forcing in Dodgers, and then I'm going to do the rest strictly using my stuff. So I have McGill as like the top pitcher, and it's good that I do because I'm going to need to save money to get all these guys in. So I'm going to put him in, and that's going to leave me $2,900 a guy. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking at like these other kind of like sort of cheaper stacks. Like I'm not going to be able to play the Yankees, obviously.
You can't play $5. That's one thing.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have to get rid of one of these Dodgers, but depending on the nature of the other guys, the other teams I want to play, you know what I mean? Like let me see who's good for the other teams. So the White Sox, the wind's blowing in. Let's not try that. Philly, Cleveland, that could be interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to get the guys I want from Cleveland in, but let's take a look. Let's see what Cleveland's all about here. So the first guy, well, you're never going to do it because Reyes is 3,400. I was going to hope that he was inexpensive. I mean, I could go the cheap guys. I could play Bradley Zimmer's 2,400. And then just how much is Ramirez? Oh, he's 4,100.
Yeah.
Well, not that bad. So if let me put 2,200 in, then I got to replace one Dodger, and I'm in freaking business. So I got a couple of expensive Dodgers I could take out. So Zimmer, Bradley, Reyes, Ramirez. So who is? If you had to pick like a Dodger, like the expensive guys between like Trey Turner, Muncy, and Betts, like who would you kick out if you just had to?
I have the least of Betts, but I still like him a lot. So I don't.
Well, obviously, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but that's the guy. I guess to answer your question, and that would be the one.
So he's out. We're gonna put in. So now we can put in Reyes over here, and then we could finish it out with Miles Straw hitting leadoff, leaving 300 on the table. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4 for Cleveland, and we got a kind of a little off the boardish one with Dodgers with the old 1, 2, 5, 8 with McGill with 300 on the table, and that's the way we do it.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me too.
Yeah, in general, like with the Dodgers, just to maybe elaborate for a second on why I like the Betts a little bit less. Just in general, you want to try and use lefties against Kelly in general, but again, you're gonna have the bullpen for a while anyway. Betts is in a great spot, and it actually is only that I love Jordan Alvarez, and I do want some Stanton Judge exposure that I don't have more Betts. That's really the only reason.
You know what? This lineup looks a lot like the other one. So this one I'm going to change. So I'm going to do a Dodger one. See, I can't show everybody exactly what I'm doing, but I'm definitely going to do something similar on DraftKings. But you know me. I'm going to go 5-man over there.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm mostly 5-man too over there.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5-man over there.
There's plenty of teams that could go completely off today, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, so
in general, I never mind it. Obviously, I just try to look for ways to get different. And also, the tournaments like the 555 today is not nearly as big a tournament, so going 5 whatever is not going to be as bad. Well, the reason I like the 4 thing is to get off of what everybody else is doing.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to do that as much if the tournament's smaller size in terms of the field size.
And again, don't forget what's cool about this. When you do the Dodger stack, you're never out of it.
That's true.
Let's see. Muncy. Oh, they make him only first base eligible over here. And Trey's only second base eligible over here. And then play all these guys? Like Mookie 6,100. Let me just see. And then what's Justin Turner's position? He is third base. Justin
Turner is third base, yeah.
Well, I promise you right now that I am not going to be able to play Urias with this particular lineup. So we're gonna go this one. We're gonna have to play Suarez, which is totally fine. Oh, can I do this? Is this going to be the Hernandez lineup?
You're gonna use him on Fanduel?
No, DraftKings.
Oh, okay.
Who do you like more, Griffin Jacks or the guy I just said? Griffin Jacks or Hernandez?
Griffin Jacks or Hernandez? I like. It doesn't matter. I'm just playing them together. I'm not playing them.
That's excellent.
I think Hernandez has been the better pitcher, but I think Jacks. I think I guess maybe Hernandez.
Okay. Do you look at any of the positions today? You like anybody particularly a catcher?
Yeah, Will Smith.
All right.
Will Smith, Knapp, Real Muto, and McCann.
McCann.
Oh, and Sanchez too. I mean, those are the only 5 guys. Oh, yeah, and Grandal I have a little bit of.
Perez.
Which feels all good until Salvador Perez hits 3 home runs.
Which feels all good until Salvador Perez hits 3 home runs. That is correct.
I probably could lessen a little bit of my love for the. Let's see. Giants lineup came out.
Chas McCormick is hitting 8th.
Yeah. One guy who's a little bit off nobody's really talked about him because he wasn't necessarily supposed to be back yet. Willie Calhoun hasn't played in a long time, but he's minimum cost, and he's not a minimum cost player. He's playing for the Rangers.
That's true.
Urquidy's good, but he's definitely not a minimum cost guy. So he's what I pivoted to with a lot of my Hilliard, as well as I also use some Ryan McKenna, who I like a lot.
If I played Griffin Jacks, maybe I should play Will Smith, like you're saying. Yeah. Will Smith. So Kelly's a righty. Played Will Smith. And then
Will Smith's better against righties anyway.
Do you like anybody particularly at third base today? Oh, Moncada's cheap.
I like Moncada. I like Justin Turner. I like Patrick Wisdom.
How bad is the weather and the wind in Chicago?
For the White Sox, it's blowing in from left at 8 miles an hour. Nothing crazy, but enough to make you give an extra reason to play the lefties over the righties. Plus, that way you get to play Sheets, who I've got 30% of.
That way you get to play Sheets. That is correct. You get to play Sheets that way.
Here's a question from Jamie. Is Quantrill a decent pitcher? I like some Minnesota tonight since Quantrill just pitched against them. Do you think Quantrill's been pitcher of the month this year, which obviously only happens 5 or 6 times in the year, depending on how. I guess this year it'll happen 6 times. So Quantrill has been very good at not getting really hit badly, but I don't think he's a guy you should shy away from picking on a little bit. But I wouldn't stack fully against him personally on this slate with other guys here. Project Mayhem asked how much Urias I'm getting to on DK right now. I've got Urias at 45% and more like 50% in my high buy-ins. Actually, might even be a little bit higher. So that's where I'm at. Any love for San Diego? Not the least bit. Don't have a San Diego player in any lineup. If there was anybody, it would be Tatis. I think that's it. San Diego's so bad. They're not doing us any favors. They're not doing the Dodgers any favors. They've been just an absolutely garbage baseball team and haven't been able to hit anybody. I've been, we caught on a little bit early taking some pitchers against them. And, I can't bring myself to play anybody from San Diego tonight. Even though you got Quintana and the long relief. It's a bullpen game, so I kind of see the appeal of it. I just didn't get to any of it. There's so many good places that I don't want to stack in a 50-degree game, and I'm just not getting into it.
One, two, three, four, five.
They did it again. They started talking it out about me on Run Pure. So now people coming in trying to berate me.
What happened? What did they berate? What'd you do to anybody?
I haven't talked to anybody at all since months ago, and I get this whenever they decide to bring it up, these idiots who follow them who are like the ultimate, like, I don't even want to get into what they are.
What'd you do to anybody?
But I am going to do this.
I need to save $700 somewhere. Is there a good $3,100 out? Oh, it's Sheets, isn't it? Shit. All right, that's it then.
All right. So anybody else with any questions or thoughts or anything? I do want to hear the weather report because I want to see about that Atlanta game in case it does look okay. Goodwin, another good lefty. Yeah, Goodwin's okay. I would prefer the other lefties a little better than him. Michael, who wasn't here earlier, I guess, because it asked for best pitching plays. I'm guessing you're talking about DraftKings. I have 45% Urias, 30% Suarez, 25% McGill, 20% Cortez, 35% Manaea, 15% Means. I think your safer options would be the McGill, Suarez, Manaea. Urias. Urias, McGill, Suarez will be the common answer to that question.
Oh, by the way, you know what I didn't have in me?
What's that?
I didn't have in me to do Jackson Hernandez. I did Suarez, Jackson, Suarez, Hernandez.
There you go. Hey, that still works.
I didn't quite have it in me.
It's a reach, but like again, this is a weird pitching slate. So I decided to get a little creative with it.
You know, I didn't know, but I did know this because you said this, but Lux is in the lineup.
Yep. I have a ton of Lux.
At 2,600.
And he's cheap on Fanduel as well. So I think I have him in every lineup currently on Fanduel, which I'm definitely going to have to change because I don't want quite that much. Little there.
Real Muto.
Houston, I like, by the way, but everybody moved them down. They should be moved down a little bit because of the actual lineup they released. But I feel like people are going to just play the cheap guys. And I've got some of that too, but I mostly I think that's where you try to get I don't know. I just don't think they're as good of a stack as they were when the day started. But at the same time, we've seen it plenty of times with Houston, especially. Like they sit a few of their main guys and then they go completely nuts with all these other guys because these guys they bring up like McCormick, Siri, and Siri's not in the lineup today either. But McCormick, why can't I think of his name? Jones, not Jones. Who am I thinking of? Diaz, though, I think that they're still solid enough. So.
I want to know why people are going after you for no reason.
It's not I mean, it's stuff from I had with those guys in the other guys.
So long ago. I mean, give me a break.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, whatever it is.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's just what it is. I'm okay with just letting it try to slide.
Well, so as I was mentioning, Bob,
all these accounts, by the way, that I look at that are doing it, they just were created because one guy tried to come in and say a bunch of shit before, and then all the accounts that they keep trying to put back were created today. So he just recreating other account. It's hilarious to me. Like, I mean, how little time of a life do you have to where you can even do that? Guys, those of you guys who do like us, go ahead, please like and subscribe and all that stuff while we're still here. If there's no more questions, I'm probably going to get out of here because I do.
Well, I watched a couple of things. So Bobby, just to remind you, so I'm not going to be able to record tomorrow. So if you want to do a showdown for everybody, I'm sure they'll. I did put the showdown, the initial showdown sheets up. I'll do at some point. I'll put updates up, but although I'll probably be able to find time for projections, I'm going to be in Temple probably most of the day because of Yom Kippur. So I'm not going to be able to record or go live tomorrow. So you just wanted to let everybody know that, let you know that as well.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, hold on. We got Mark Garcelle. Wait a minute. I haven't seen you in a long time. Well, give him a break. It's 6:28, but he tagged at 6:20. I haven't seen him in a long time. Mike, best pitcher plays today. You're catching us on a weird pitching day. Oh, you answered him?
Yeah, but you can answer him. And I'm curious what you're going to say.
And feature, who's your favorite pitcher on FanDuel? Mine is McGill, is my favorite over there. And but I'm playing a lot of Urias also. So those are the two guys that I have the most of.
Same.
All right, I guess we can cut out.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to everybody tonight. I hope you guys crush it. Good luck to Timothy, Michael, Project Mayhem, Jamie, Rhodey in there.
We don't have to wish John Jenkins luck because he's going to win anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I remember you from, Mike. That's right. I knew the name freaking rang a bell. Oh, you know what? Show up another time. We'll yap about PXF and stuff like that. But I knew I remember that name from somewhere.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Good luck, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Good luck.